Here I am in Santander and I'm extending my out and return flight. The plan was to come back, so I went a little bit towards the landing zone just to extend it and then went forward. It wasn't really keeping me up on today's flight. The conditions was a bit more stable than last time, so I spent more time here to just make sure I get altitude. I spent like 10 minutes or so here just looking for thermal, didn't find anything, so I returned back. I saw some pilots there, so I climbed out and went forward. Got a nice thermal here, and that was enough for me to glide straight to the White Horse. And here I didn't do anything unusual. Everything was the same as I would normally fly here. The difference started here, where I was more patient and was looking to climb out. Here I only gained 100 or 200 meters, but it was enough for me not to rush and wait for the cycles. I was observing the clouds across here and making sure I leave in a good time. And as I was arriving here, around this area, I noticed a vulture, which was just leaving his nest and moving towards this ridgeline here. He was kind of following this ridgeline and moving towards there, and I noticed 3 vultures up higher. So I kind of went between the vulture down low and the 3 vultures up, and this is about where I met the vulture. I've been flying for 8 years now. I have about 2,000 hours in the air, and I've never ever climbed at the same speed that the bird has. I've always failed. Birds, they've done it for millennia, and there's no way I thought that it's possible to stay with the bird, at least for me. But this flight, 450 meters non-stop with a vulture, wingtip to wingtip, going up. I was speechless. I couldn't believe it. I made a post on Facebook about it, on Instagram, saying like things just clicked. And that thermal, there was 3 vultures on top, and 1 was lower than me. So I saw that, and I kind of went in between them, and while I was looking for the core and the thermal, the vulture from bottom caught up to my level, and then I just mirrored it. And for the first time in my flying career, I managed to stay with the vulture till the bird decided to leave me, and I continued on my way. It was so surreal. There was no time for me to turn on the camera. I was like, no, I'm not spoiling this. I'm just gonna be in the moment and enjoy the beautiful connection with the nature. Eventually we got up and nice all the way to the top. The bird left and I moved forward, and the story really is about here. Like, I got to the top, climbed out. There was a nice nice cloud here, so I decided to move towards it as well, because in the video before, here's a link up on the top. Check it out if you didn't see that before. On this mountain, I just landed right down here, and now I'm about 700-800 meters higher than I was there last time. Took me about 2 hours to get my head straight and to walk up and to find a place to take off again. This is nice altitude, connected right straight up to it, and went forward. Another little thermal just to be conservative, and then here is just a straight line non-stop forward. That's why the French call it the highway ridge or the highway mountain, and it goes all the way to the end. You get a little bit to climb out there, cross over this little river / lake. It's the Serpentson Lake. There's quite a big storms brewing everywhere. We'll see if this is gonna stop the day, or am I gonna make it back. Lake Serpentson. Whee! And then that brings me to the second topic I wanted to talk today about. I'm now at 2.5, 2.6, and the cloud base wasn't much higher, maybe another 100 meters, but not much more. You can see that I'm already being sucked a little bit by a cloud, and I decided to move away, because the goal was to go forward this direction, which is sort of north. I wanted to share some news. I am organizing paragliding courses this summer here in Laragne, France. You're welcome to join if you like. These are 1 week long. Normally how it goes is that everybody arrives on Saturday, we settle in, you rest after travel, and Sunday morning we meet up. Usually the first day is kind of the easy day. We all get to know each other. I show you around the site, do the brief of the site, the weather conditions, we check your gear, make sure all is correct. and then we take you to the takeoff. You go for a few top to bottoms. That allows me to get to know you even more, see how you do on takeoffs and landings, and then we go for a longer flight. In the afternoon we do the debrief, and that's generally the Thursday is a bit more easy. We just traveled long distances, so it's nice to take it easy. Second, third day we go more in depth. We will adapt according to the day's conditions, your ambitions, and your skill level, and each day will be planned accordingly. Then usually Wednesday or Thursday we take a day off just to rest, maybe some little bit of ground handling, but in general it's mostly rest day and maybe some theory in afternoon. And then Thursday, Friday we fly again. In the 5 days we fly as much as possible. We have multiple takeoff areas around. We have 4 or 5 different weather systems here. If it's not flyable in Laragne, we go to different takeoff areas. The beautiful thing about this area is that if it's raining here or it's mistral here, we can go to east or north or south and run away from this weather and get better weather. This way it's more likely to be able to fly every single day. Of course, it's not a guarantee. It is paragliding, it is weather, but we have the options and we'll do absolutely everything we can. I don't do these courses alone. I have a team that supports me and the group. For weather, I have a specialist who lived here for 25 years and been pilot for 20 plus and been passionate about weather since he was 8 years old. So he really knows the weather around here in depth like I've never seen it before. I have a retrieve driver slash psychologist slash a second generation pilot. She grew up here. She went flying from Shabra when she was 2 years old as a tandem passenger with her dad. She has a lot of local knowledge and experience around this area. She's also excellent at the weather and forecasting. We take care of everything. There's a place for you to stay. There's a rides up to the mountains. We have very nice and comfortable van for that. We'll take you to the shop and to the house, so you don't need your own vehicle once you're here. You just need to get yourself to Laragne. If you fly in, we also offer shuttles from airport. Check out our webpage. It's gonna be linked in the description, so you can go in detail there. If you have any questions, write down here in comments or send me an email or WhatsApp. You can all find that information down there below. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. First group is 1st to 8th of August. There are still some places left. Don't miss your opportunity to get some airtime. This area is absolutely beautiful to fly. There are so many different options to fly for all levels, from complete beginners to the aspiring cross-country pilot. You can do your first 20Ks or your first 200Ks. It all really depends on your ambitions and skill level. It's just incredible to fly, and I love to share that with you guys. So I'll stop it here. So just check all the information in the description down below, and I'll get into the rest of the video. And then I couldn't really get much else to it. I'm just got stuck all the time at 2.6, a little bit over. So I went forward, thought maybe I can get something in the way. Nothing was really working. I came back thinking maybe I should get to 2.8 if I can. So I got to 2.9. The sort of a little opening, because the big stormy clouds was more inside of over the big mountains. So here from the valley there was a little little clouds popping a bit higher than the main cloud base. So I got up to 2.9 I also should mention that because of the stormy sky and how the weather was going up and down, there was kind of constant clouds over the big mountains and keeping somewhat constant base at 2,700 2,800 roughly. And then just in front, because of the valley winds and the new thermals popping, every now and then there was some little clouds going up higher. And then when you get on the side of the cloud and you have the valley wind coming in here and you have a little new thermal here, then it's kind of like soaring the cloud sort of, plus the thermal goes a little higher there. This is the reason why I managed to go to the 2.9.5. So I used the front of the cloud because it was kind of into the wind. You had a little cloud on top, and then you can sort of, when you're lucky, you can manage to go up a bit higher than the cloud base allows you on that given day. 2.9 was the highest absolutely I could get, so I went forward, and you can see that I start sinking as I approach the mountain, and that's because of the wind coming from the opposite side. And now I should talk about a little bit of the conditions of the day. The reason I decided to go there in the first place is that the cloud base was just 100-200 meters above the top, and that's not enough to cross from here all the way there and then nowhere. Here the cloud base also was 100-200 meters above the top, but I couldn't get high enough here to do the glide, to jump over, so I had to do something different. My original goal was to kind of get high enough to push through into the wind here, but I couldn't get high enough to do into the wind, into the lee side, and cross over there. Another option would be to go straight from here there. For that also you need a lot higher altitude than this day was offering, and if you don't have 3,500, 3.3, you can't go straight because there is valley winds here that will wash the thermals, and it's really difficult to get up there. I have tried it 2 or 3 times or 4 times, and I've landed out twice and I managed 2 times, so it's 50-50 chance. And this day was too low for cloud base, so I didn't take the chances. I went the safer route. It's more of a detour, but it works on a regular basis, where the other one has to have specific conditions to be able to do it. So, and when you talk about this valleys here, you have a valley wind there, here, and a little bit of a wind coming there. Everything was in sunshine here, here, and here. The wind speed was under 15 kilometers an hour. I checked all the meteor stations around. Benefit of being in France is that you have weather stations on every second mountain, so you can really check all the wind directions and speeds at different altitudes, places. That helps for decisions like this, and I do check that while flying. Plus, I have a weather guy on the ground who helps me out as well. So, another reason I thought, well, okay, so the valley winds kind of cancel each other out, and it's not too strong. Plus, there's sunshine everywhere, so when the thermal goes up, it blocks the wind as well a bit. So you're kind of in this semi-turbulent air where everything is moving, and it's not really nice. And I knew it's not going to be really nice, but I also knew that I can handle turbulent air at this speeds. I've been in those before. I knew I can handle it, and I had my plan B was to land in these mountains here. It's kind of relatively smooth place to land. They are hiking trails, so I was theoretically able to climb out, but that would be actually plan C. My plan B would be pushing back to the valley here. I was quite confident that I would be able to fly all the way to the bottom of the valley, or even cross back to the sunny side and up inside of the mountains and get the thermal up again, and then figure something else. I got sing here pretty bad, and then I got some lift, and everything was up and down. You can see how the track log here is up, down, up, and I was all the time working with my speed bar up and down to push through the lee, slow down in the bubbles, push through the lee, slow down in the bubbles all the time. It's really lots of work, and then I got this nice height, and then I got again sinking a lot, and I wasn't sure that I'm gonna make it till about this point, because here I was on the up inside and was already good. But this roller coaster got me my heart rate going, my adrenaline going, and I really don't like to fly like this, and I don't think I'm gonna repeat this often or ever again.